In the second year of my marriage of convenience to Damian Sterling, the billionaire CEO and obsessive alpha male who ruled his empire with an iron fist, my old flame returned, stirring up jealousy and revenge in ways I never expected. But before that, I was in a brutal car accident that left me with amnesia, erasing everything from my mind. When I woke up in the luxurious private suite of his New York penthouse, surrounded by crystal chandeliers and floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the glittering skyline, Damien was there, his dark eyes fixed on me like I was his most prized possession. He leaned in, his possessive husband instincts kicking in as he gently kissed my fingertips, his voice a low rumble that sent shivers down my spine. He told me not to worry about remembering, that all I needed to know was our marriage was harmonious, filled with the kind of dominant passion only a man like him could provide. I lay there in the silk sheets of our king-sized bed, imported from Italy, feeling the heat rise in my cheeks as his words hinted at something deeper, more submissive. I asked softly if we were truly in love, and he pressed one last kiss to my wrist, his gaze turning into an inky pool of intensity. Of course, he said, his obsessive alpha male nature shining through in that simple affirmation. Maybe it was the sincerity in his eyes or the familiar way he touched me, but I believed him without question. The doctor said I was young, probably clinging to him because he was the first face I saw after the crash, creating this grumpy sunshine dynamic where his gruff exterior melted around me. Following their advice, Damien took me for a walk in the crisp air outside our penthouse, his hand in mine as we strolled through the private gardens on the rooftop terrace. A chill wind hit me, making me shiver, and he immediately shrugged off his tailored cashmere coat to drape it over my shoulders. But I thought he could do better, so I pressed his hand down and wrapped my arms around his waist, burrowing into his chest. This way, neither of us would be cold, I explained, lifting my head to teach him seriously. Then doubt crept in, and I accused him of not really loving me because he didn't hug me enough. His expression darkened instantly, that possessive streak flaring as he scooped me into a secluded corner, pinning me against the wall in a classic wall-donk move that left me breathless. He kissed me then, claiming my breath as his own, murmuring that he loved me in a voice laced with suppressed desire. How dare I say he didn't love me? I clung to his shoulders, dizzy from the intensity, and when he paused to trail kisses across my cheek, he asked if it felt unfamiliar. I admitted it did, blushing like a boiled shrimp, wondering if I'd forgotten how or if it was always like this. He wrapped his coat around me tighter, leaving himself in just a thin shirt, and rubbed my flushed ears without answering directly. His voice turned low and seductive, suggesting we try again, calling me his baby girl. This time, he let me take the lead, and I hesitantly leaned in, kissing him clumsily while he held me closer, his grip tightening. Over the next month in our opulent life, filled with rides in his Maybach through Manhattan streets and evenings on his yacht docked in the Hudson, Damien proved himself an attentive husband. He catered to my every need, from Cartier jewelry deliveries to private jet trips for weekend getaways to his Italian villa. But one day before discharge from the hospital wing he'd funded, a stranger showed up, a guy claiming to be my grad school senior, Xavier Knight. Damien had stepped out to fetch porridge from a five-star chef, and Xavier sighed, joking that if I didn't remember our half-finished experiment, he'd be devastated. I took his notes, feeling a strange familiarity with the processes, like I could pick it up in days. He relaxed, reaching to ruffle my hair casually. But before he could touch me, Damien appeared at the door, his smile not reaching his eyes, which were filled with shadowy intent. "What are you doing?" he asked gently, but the threat was clear: touch her and die. I introduced him as my husband, but Xavier shrugged it off dismissively. In a flash, Damien's dominant side erupted. He grabbed Xavier by the head and shoved him toward the sink in the room, turning on the icy water to drench him. He looked so refined usually, but this violence showed his mafia boss undertones, the dark romance lurking beneath his billionaire facade. "How about I help you wake up?" Damien said with a laugh, explaining that Xavier needed to understand what husband meant before speaking again. I snapped out of my shock at Xavier's yelps, rushing barefoot to pull Damien away, calling him husband to calm him. He froze at the word, releasing Xavier with a meaningful stare. Xavier gasped for air, swinging a fist, but I blocked Damien, telling Xavier he had no boundaries and deserved it. "Don't bother us again," I warned. Xavier paused, suggesting I listen to other perspectives on my past, hinting that Damien's word might not be trustworthy. Then he stormed out, defeated. Damien scolded me for not wearing shoes, scooping me up and carrying me back to bed effortlessly. I forgot Xavier's words momentarily, hugging his neck and teasing if he liked me calling him husband. He didn't answer, just kissed me deeply, prying open my defenses until I was oxygen-deprived and hazy. He nipped my lower lip, demanding I say it again, his palm heating up possessively. "She's mine. Every breath she takes belongs to me. No one else gets to even look at her without my permission." During my hospital stay in that lavish setup, I learned more about myself and noticed we hadn't taken wedding photos yet. Once out, I visited Damien at his towering office in a skyscraper, planning to discuss dates amid his luxury lifestyle. But I froze at the door, seeing a girl chirping around him like a bird, complaining about work and asking to skip the afternoon. She was perched too close on his desk, and he sat in his leather boss chair, not rejecting her outright. Jealousy hit me hard, and I wondered if I'd missed signs and this forced marriage turned enemies to lovers' tale. The girl spotted me, strutting past with arrogance, and I left without a word. Damien's eyes softened instantly when he saw me, wrapping my cold hands in his and kissing them. "How did they get so chilly?" he murmured. I stood still, staring at him before asking point-blank if he truly liked me before my amnesia. "Don't lie." His gaze flickered, gripping harder until it hurt. Then he pulled me into a tight embrace, kissing my hair, eyelids, nose, and lips repeatedly. "Don't doubt my feelings for you, baby girl," he whispered, his voice trembling with raw emotion. "I love you," he repeated, his eyes on the brink of shattering sanity. The sadness there burned me, so I hugged back, apologizing. He explained she was his cousin, always at odds with me, hence her glare. Then a knock came. It was her, whining about leaving early. "Get out," he barked coldly. "You don't need to come back." She yelled back and slammed the door, but I was too stunned to react as Damien claimed my breath again, pulling my hands around his neck and murmuring my name over and over. His rare vulnerability stung me, so that night, as the city lights twinkled from our penthouse, I hugged a pillow and knocked on his bedroom door in the master suite. He leaned on the frame, and I admitted I was scared alone. His eyes stormed, voice husky. "Are you sure you want to come in?" Since discharge, he'd insisted on separate rooms for my recovery, but I knew I was fine. I stepped closer, asking if he wanted me inside. His answer was scooping me up, carrying me to bed, and wrapping me in blankets like a cocoon, holding me from behind. I peeked out, asking cautiously if he made me sleep alone because he had issues. The moonlight mixed with shadows in his eyes, hiding emotions. "Where?" he asked flatly. I stared, implying obviously, but he furrowed his brow, pretending to think about his leg. Then he caught on, hesitating before boldly deciding something. I reached out under the covers to check myself, my voice trailing off, but he grabbed my wrist in the dark, rubbing it lightly. "What are you checking, little wife? Say it, and I'll let you touch." Embarrassed, I yanked back, burrowing deeper. I suspected he had a dirty talk kink. Damien was enigmatic, a gentleman restraining himself, but occasionally flashing greedy desire. It was at the wedding dress fitting in a high-end boutique on Fifth Avenue that things shifted. I arrived early, running into Xavier working part-time. He rambled, but one line stuck. "The way you defended your husband was unusual. From what I know, during Truth or Dare games, you said you and your husband each liked someone else." Alone in the changing room, I pondered that, staring at my reflection until Damien slipped in silently behind me. I snapped back, meeting his eyes in the mirror. I ran into Xavier, I started, but he cut me off lightly, knowing who. Then he pulled me back into his chest, his breath hot on my ear, noting a man's cologne scent on me. He bit down gently in punishment, and I pushed him away, accusing him of what Xavier said, that we'd admitted liking others. Damien froze for a second, lips tight, waiting for my reaction, unease flickering beneath his calm. I said it might not be wrong, maybe we liked each other. But he didn't relax, his expression sinking deeper. No, he admitted finally, eyes downcast. You never liked me. I lied to you. Sorry, I don't want to keep this charade. He wouldn't meet my gaze, emotions locked away. Stunned, I didn't respond immediately, and he offered to have his driver take me home, his voice cracking slightly. As he turned to leave, my brain kicked in, and I chased after him in the unpaid dress, grabbing his arm outside the store. Did you ever do anything wrong to me or treat me badly? No, he answered without hesitation. And since marrying, have you only liked me? Even before, he rasped, always only you. His voice dimmed, like a desolate ruin. I softened my tone. Then can you promise not to lie anymore? He stared, agreeing in a whisper carried by the wind. I smiled, pulling him back inside. I like you now too, so I forgive this little mistake. And next time, wait for me to finish before walking away. Don't retreat into your shell sulking. I thought this honesty would change things in our age gap romance. But that night, he still bundled me separately in bed like a trapped pupa. Damien, I said seriously, inhaling deeply to suppress anger. If you really have issues, don't hide it. He switched to shameless mode, agreeing flatly that he couldn't. It wasn't about pain before I remembered, it was his deep-seated insecurity, fearing I'd stopped liking him once memory returned. Progress stalled until Chloe Knight appeared, not a stumbling block, but a catalyst. In Damien's office, with views of the city from his penthouse-level suite, I lounged on the sofa munching chips while Chloe, a returning business rep and old acquaintance, played mom. Don't dirty the sofa, he has a thing for cleanliness, she chided. I put them away innocently, noting how attentive she was to him. So why didn't you marry Damien? Don't you like him? Her smile stiffened, powder caking at her lips. By the time I'd downed half a soda, she snapped back. You're just a subsidized grad student, no job, a little waste. How long do you think he'll like you? Just a novelty. The door opened behind her, and she turned, tucking hair, calling his name sweetly. But I cut in, jumping up teary-eyed to Damien, complaining Chloe called me a waste. I sneaked glances at her disbelief. Damien rubbed my head, eyeing her coldly. If you have time to chat with my wife, does that mean your company can deliver early? She shook her head, stammering. And Miss Chloe, we're not that familiar. She went speechless as I added fuel. No job? Fine, my husband's money will last lifetimes. Why slave away like you? Chloe fumed, countering that it was her money too, questioning if I knew self-reliance. I feigned confusion, but I can spend his. Why suffer 9 to 5 like you? She stormed out empty-handed. Truthfully, I said it to rile her I planned to finish grad school, not leech forever. As soon as she left, Damien lifted me onto his lap in the chair, dodging his kisses. What are you doing? He tilted my chin, eyes intent on more. I pecked his face quickly, pulling back. Enough, Damien, your body's not up for it. Get healthy first, maybe I'll pack you some tonics tomorrow. He stroked my hair slowly, lips curving dangerously. Do you know the consequences of making me take tonics, good girl? Though I thought he was just talking big, I backed off, intimidated. Soon I'd regret provoking him when hours later, I was exhausted, barely breathing from his intensity. Chloe was studious, always learning. After my nap in the office restroom, I emerged to her glaring. I yawned. Chloe, ditch that foundation, it cakes every time. She frantically fixed it in a mirror, then snapped. Little waste, I didn't offend you today, why target me? I grinned. Old lady, just a kind reminder. Damien exited then, and she whined to him that I called her old. Thunderstruck by the familiarity, I was speechless. He ignored her, booting up his computer. What can we do? Call the cops? I suggested. He dialed 911, sliding the phone to her. Go ahead, Miss Chloe. Furious and foolish, she slammed files down and stomped out, forgetting her bag. Kindly, and to prevent her return, I chased after with it. She sped up, ignoring my calls, thinking I wanted to curse her. I slipped on the floor, yelping, and she turned to grab me but missed. I crashed into a cabinet, head hitting hard, the impact scattering the blood clot in my brain. As consciousness faded, I saw Damien rushing in. In dreams, memories flooded back. Our marriage of convenience came after he knew Chloe, though unofficial, their closeness screamed it. I figured he resented wedding me, but young Damien was different. At my 11th birthday party in his family's grand estate, I announced my wish to marry him someday. Everyone laughed, but his face soured. I asked if it upset him. He explained wishes shouldn't be spoken aloud, or they won't come true. His was the same, he confided, kept secret. Yet he changed, praised with Chloe by elders. I thought he'd marry her. Then she left abroad, he vanished briefly, and our families arranged the union. Post-wedding, he allowed separate rooms, treating me like a roommate, restrained, not husbandly. I assumed he loved Chloe. Waking from anesthesia, pain throbbing, Damien sat bedside, calling doctors silently. I glanced at him uneasily until alone. "You remember everything now, don't you?" he asked from shadows. I hummed absently, digesting dual memories, soon dozing off. Morning came, he was gone, but Chloe visited with supplements. "You okay, little waist?" she asked. I struggled, linking the poised woman and memories to this goof. She ranted, "You're unlucky with that psycho Damien. He thought I pushed you, locked me in the office." She huffed, implying he'd bury her if I didn't wake. I asked if she liked him. She snorted, "Used to, he's hot and powerful. But now I see he truly likes you, no clown role for me." Chloe confirmed Damien's love during amnesia. He swore it was always me. Lost in fog, I couldn't find truth. She frowned, recalling something scary. "His bloody hand still haunts me. I thought he just rebelled against control. Who knew it was for you?" Eyes wide, I demanded details. My family declined as Dad deemed us unworthy for alliance, picking Chloe's family instead. He ordered Damien to date her, engaged by year-end. Damien refused, earning a slap. His father, control freak, gave ultimatums. Marry her or implant a tracking chip forever. Damien, not yet powerful, chose the chip. Sliced into his palm without anesthesia as punishment, fainting from pain. Soon after, he married me. Hindsight revealed ignored signs. His rare smiles that day, attempted handholds I dodged, thinking he loved Chloe. Home from hospital, I unpacked the suitcase I'd prepared to leave, but Damien returned drunk, eyes on the bag. He hid his hands, locking the door subtly. "Where are you going?" He approached, smiling darkly. "To your senior? You really think I'm dead? Baby girl, you're mine to ruin. No one else touches what's mine." Thrown onto the bed, he loomed over, reminding me I'd promised memory wouldn't change my feelings. He was the captor, yet begged humbly, eyes insecure. I saw his fear, understanding why he stayed silent. He thought I liked Xavier, pride twisting love. Adults rarely confess easily. "Damien, this time I'll step first." Xavier was right, I liked someone pre-marriage. His grip whitened on my waist, staring. I hugged his neck, smiling. But coincidentally, my old words came true. We like each other. I kissed him, then he stiffened before responding hoarsely. "Don't lie to me, baby girl." I held the trembling man tighter, giving security. Moments later, ear to his, I whispered, "I've remembered. Your issue can heal now?" He nuzzled my neck. "Do you want it?" I teased, "Don't you?" "Not wanting makes you no man." He chuckled low, hands wandering, grabbing a box from the nightstand. Chloe called him psycho. Drunk Damien was super psycho. First time, he tried new tricks, like forcing a walker to run marathons. "Damien, no," I protested as he interlaced fingers. "You can, good girl." He kissed my nape. "Ever thought of the floor-to-ceiling windows?" "No, but I have." Stimulating like live broadcast. Exhausted, I wished for death. But eventually he released me. I wrapped myself tight, gripping his scarred hand. "Did it hurt then?" He guessed. Chloe told, kissing my fingers. "Removed after a year, endured thinking of marrying you." Damien was a love brainiac. I burrowed into him, hiding teary eyes as he stroked my back, recounting. After the chip, he accelerated, ousting his dad, swapping loyalists over 13 months until majority shareholder, free at last. Chloe, spooked, transferred abroad after handover. Before leaving, she cornered me. That non-caking foundation recommendations? I hummed, sending links, scanning her code. She labeled me little waste. I reciprocated old lady. Accepting my tips, she griped about my note but fled at Damien's footsteps. He's got heavy kinks, good luck. I smirked at his suited form. Chloe was here. He nodded, appreciating the view until lunch arrived. The secretary gave me a knowing look. I puzzled until post-meal, planning a walk. She blocked. Did the boss eat? Yes. She sighed relief. Overheard your talk last time. Love face, so I ordered tonics for him. Mutual benefit harmonious life means my bonus back. Realizing too late, I groaned. Damien drove home normally at first, but air heated, breathing heavy. You okay? Next, he swerved into the garage. Instinct screamed escape, but he locked doors. A cold shower like in shows? I suggested. Ignoring, he adjusted the seat, eyes low. Come here. I clutched the belt, shaking head. I'll die. Pinching his brow at limit. Or I come to you. No choice, I crawled over, straddling as he kissed, soothing. Don't fear, baby girl. An hour later, I cried pushing 2, slumped on his shoulder 3, barely alive as he carried me upstairs. In bed, nearly asleep, my phone buzzed. Secretary asking to mention her bonus. Rage peaking, I typed. No bonuses ever. Movement drew Damien. Chatting so eagerly? Not tired. I tossed it, burrowing. Super tired, sleeping now. That night, I dreamed of 11-year-old me wishing aloud to marry him. I told her, your wish came true.